I think we as a culture are suffering from confusing outright cynicism with a healthy level of skepticism. The utility of skepticism is in training your mind to accept the inference to the best explanation. Otherwise, it's just being stubborn and/or paranoid. For skepticism to be useful, we must first and foremost be skeptical of our own position and accept that our view of the world is probably narrow and incorrect. And there is a very good chance that we are wrong about many things we hold for granted. What I see instead is an explosion of belief in absurd and paranoid conspiracy theories. I have put a lot of thought into conspiracy theories the last few years because I have been so confused at why often very intelligent people latch themselves onto ideas that are highly irrational. I have found that a certain brand of very intelligent humans take so much pride in not being a sheep and thinking for themselves that they reach the level of being irrationally paranoid rather than having a healthy dose of skepticism. Rather than a healthy attitude of not being naive and taking everything for granted, and thus being open to the best explanation, they doubt absolutely everything and everyone, including the most reasonable explanations and the most credible sources. They then act superior to all the sheep who simply are too gullible to see it as they do. Descartes famously elaborated on the idea that ultimately there are very few things that we can be absolutely sure of. That the only thing that we can be sure of is, I think therefore I am. It's not that this is wrong. It is entirely correct that everything around you could be an illusion. It is certainly possible that whoever you are living the Truman Show, and everything and everyone around you is a lie. Just because you could reason that it is technically possible, though, it doesn't make it a reasonable lens to see the world through. At some point, we have to accept the reality of the world around us. Similarly, for every single conspiracy theory out there, any evidence debunking the theory to the conspiracy theorist is just evidence of how deep the conspiracy must go. Yes, it is possible that every scientist and every government organization and all the technology companies are just out to deceive you. But at some point, you should be skeptical of just how ridiculous it is to think that many people can be on the same page at the same time and keep a secret. Obviously, there are people out there who would like to cover up truths or promote lies for their own benefit, but I think we can all take comfort in the fact that there are still enough competing interests out there and self-aggrandizing people who would love to be a whistleblower and martyr to make most conspiracies extremely unlikely to succeed. Maintain a healthy attitude of skepticism, require evidence, question sources. But before you draw the conclusion that everyone else out there is just a bunch of naive sheep and you are the only enlightened one, before you question the entire scientific community, before you draw the conclusion that overwhelming level of evidence against your belief is just proof of how far the conspiracy goes, maybe be a little skeptical of yourself first.